Hello and welcome to this video tutorial which gives you an introduction on how flight plans are made in PPS8. I'm going to show you the principles on how a basic flight plan is made, how you file it via Mexi, and how the flight is uploaded to crewbriefing.com. We are going to cover some more advanced scenarios in some other video tutorials. As you can see, we have already the PPS8 flight planning system opened and is ready to start creating a new flight plan. If there's more than one PPS installation, it's possible to start a new flight plan with another account than the default one. This will come in handy for flight service providers. For this tutorial, we'll click on the New Flight Plan key in the ribbon. The default flight planning window appears and is waiting for the required information to be added. As you can see, our guide is still pending for the information to be added to this flight plan. This is indicated by these small symbols. All boxes in the flight data input are also empty, and PPS8 is already waiting for the first entry to be made. PPS8 uses the Windows standard, so it's freely up to the user if they want to use the mouse or short keys. It's possible to move forward or backward using either Tab or Shift plus Tab. If the mouse cursor is hovered over any of the text inside the flight data input window, a tooltip will appear and give hints to the user on the format to be entered into the field. The same is applied to the items inside the guide. Start by searching for an aircraft, either by clicking the drop-down box with the mouse or by pressing the F4 key. It's also possible to search by typing in the name of the aircraft file. The aircraft file name is indicated by the bold text shown in the left column of the selection box. If the aircraft performance status already have a call sign added, this will appear in the flight number box. In the day of flight field, the present date will always be shown. It's possible to change the date either by using the up or down arrows or by clicking in the small date symbol, and a calendar will appear where the date can be chosen with the mouse. It's also possible to scroll through the dates with the up and down arrows. The scheduled time of departure will always display the nearest whole hour, and again, here it's also possible to scroll up or down through the hours using the up or down keys, or you can simply just enter the required time. Searching for an airport in PPS8 works like a charm. You can search freely by either entering the ICAO, IATA, or simply by typing in the plain name of the airport required. We're going to plan a flight from Copenhagen, and for this example, we just start by typing in Echo Kilo, which is the country code for Denmark. As you can see, a list of airports will appear. When starting using the PPS system with time, a list of 2 airports should appear: a priority list and a list for all other airports. The priority list shows the most frequently used airports, and the list with all other airports are showing any airports which contain the combination Echo Kilo which we search for. Common for both lists is that no airports with a runway distance shorter than 6,000 feet will be shown. This requirement is set under the individual aircraft file. Runway length represents the longest runway available on the airport. VX indicates that weather information is available for the airport. AOE, which stands for Airport of Entry, shows that this is an international airport. It's possible to further expand to get more information on the airport. This can either be done by using the right arrow key or simply by clicking once on the airport using the mouse. In the expanded view, information on weather and also NOTAMs will be present if a check mark for VX was present for that airport. Information can be listed for the airport in a separate window by clicking the Airport Info key. Additionally, it is possible to add any company-specific information to that airport under the tab Additional Info. Just have in mind that it's your own responsibility to verify the additional information. Finally, an AccuQuick for the airport can be printed if required. The functionality just shown is of course possible in all airport fields. If you would like to recap on the possibilities in the airport search, there will of course be a video tutorial concentrating only on this item. We will use Rome in Italy as our destination, and for this example we're just starting by typing in LI. As you can see, again, a list of airports will appear. Searching for the alternate can be done by using the same principles as just explained. If you however just want to search for the nearest airport, you can click the drop-down box with the mouse or by pressing the F4 key. This will show you a list of airports fulfilling the requirements for runway distance, starting with the nearest airport from the top. If you have standard alternates in your company policies, these will be listed first in the list. How to add these standard alternates in PPS8 will be covered in another video tutorial. Enter the amount of passengers required for the flight. It's also possible to use the arrow keys to add or remove passengers. If you have an installation with mass and balance calculations, PPS will automatically distribute according to the most favorable CG position. There are 3 different selections available for wind. Forecasted winds, which of course is the latest winds downloaded, or historical winds, which are wind data taken from the past approximately 20 years. And finally, a fixed wind component. We will use the forecasted winds for this presentation. To help you to decide which flight level to operate this specific flight in, we have developed the FLOM, which stands for Flight Level Optimization Module. This gives the user a good indication on the information regarding cost, time, and fuel used at each flight level. It's also possible to see the average wind component, and finally, it's taken the route availability document into consideration also. Have in mind that the route availability document only is enforced within the IFPS airspace. If you have included an alternate airport, you also have the possibility to decide on which flight level to plan to the alternate, but here PPS will again suggest a flight level. It's possible to modify the ATC info via the editable ATC info key. Here information like the number of aircraft can be changed, if required, and additionally info to the Mark 18 field can be added. Also, the type of flight can be changed. We will keep the default info for this example. The next step is to decide on the route. Remember that you can either choose simply by clicking the route with the mouse or using the short keys. I will expand the view so all columns will be viewable in the route view. As you can see, there are various information inside the route view. All this information is present to help you to decide which route there will be the most efficient one for the given day. There are 12 columns, starting with the validation column. Here you can click Validate, which will be pending for the validation with Eurocontrol. I will explain more regarding this in a moment. The other columns are the source, which shows where the route is taken from. This could be recently filed routes, CFMU routes, company routes, or routes copied directly from fast routing. There's also ATC route, flight level, route distance, trip fuel, flight time, and cost prices for aircraft, fuel burned, and overflight cost. It's possible to filter how many information you would like to have displayed in the route view. Simply click on the Select Column key and the selection box will appear. I will untick aircraft cost, fuel cost, and total cost. You can build a route for both the primary route but also for the alternate route, if any alternate airport has been chosen. If you would like to build a route from scratch, it's possible to start up the fast routing via this key. If you would like to manually type in a route or pasting in one from the clipboard, simply just click Create New Route and an empty ATC route entry box appears. For this example, we'll just select the route and validate it up against Eurocontrol with the validation key. Remember that it's only within IFPS airspace that you can use this function. You can see that we have decided and selected a route. The actual route will be drawn on the minimap. This helps us to give us a better situational awareness on which countries we'll be crossing on this flight. The next step is to add the crew members to the flight. Simply start by typing in the crew code, and PPS8 will automatically enter the details under the PIC. It's also possible to click on the drop-down box with the mouse, and if PPS8 contains the crew information, a list appears containing all the crew info. Then just select the crew members required for this flight. The fuel view is divided into 4 areas. Profiles, where you can change the speed profile and also change which fuel profile to use for the specific flight. Of these fuel profiles we have extra fuel, actual fuel, max fuel, minimum fuel, specific landing fuel, and finally the possibility to bring fuel which equals either a specific takeoff mass or specific landing mass. Aircraft data shows the name of the specific aircraft file used, and also shows the gain-loss figures calculated according to the fuel prices added in the data editor. It's also possible to see the fuel policy according to the figures added under the data editor. As you can see, I have no specific fuel policy for this aircraft. If you require to reduce the contingency fuel, it's possible to make an ERA or an RCF calculation. This is done inside the fuel box. It's also possible to manipulate with the taxi fuel for the specific flight to overcome the extra taxi fuel often experienced for larger airports. Depending on the fuel profile chosen, some of the fields can become editable simply by choosing the required fuel profile. This option also applies for the fields in Mass Limitation Fuel Policy. For this example, we will bring 500 kilos of extra fuel. Mass and balance is the area where you will have the more advanced possibilities to change configuration, seating positions, define specific male, female, children or infants, add custom masses, add additional cargo or even review fuel. If the aircraft has more than one configuration, you can switch between the different configurations via the configuration drop-down box, and for instance have a standard configuration or another configuration like Medivac. As you can see, the aircraft is divided into 4 sections: packs, cargo, crew and fuel. In the packs tab, there is a possibility to show extended view, and this opens up the possibility to state packs type by selecting specific male, female, children or infants, and you can also seat them in the preferred position. Additionally, it's possible to write a specific mass to a given position. We will cover many more of the advanced usage of mass and balance in another PPS8 video tutorial. We have now made a basic flight plan. As you can see, all our guide items are with the green tick marker to confirm for the user that all items are fulfilled and no limitations are exceeded. In the flight data output, you can see the OFP and cross-check the output. Review your ATC ICAO plan, check the envelope and check the fuel en route on each waypoint. You can print a load sheet, and this can also be uploaded to crewbriefing.com. We will cover the possibilities available with the load sheet in another video tutorial. Finally, you have all the flight details printed in the flight data summary. Have in mind that any data changed during the preparation of the flight plan will have immediate impact on all information both shown in the flight data output and in the flight data summary. The final step now is just to file the flight plan via Amexi and upload it to crewbriefing.com. Click and file via Amexi. In the window which appears, it's possible to add or remove AFTN addresses, or change the flight rules, and changes made here will show the impact on the ATC plan or remark 18. Messages sent via Amexi will be confirmed via this message bar. The message will stay there until you close it. To confirm that the flight plan has been filed and also accepted, we need to open the Amexi flight plan viewer. This will open up in a separate window. This can come in handy if you have multiple screens and would like to have the viewer opened permanently for monitoring. As you can see, the plan is approved. we'll just close the viewer again. Last step is now to send the briefing to crewbriefing.com. Simply click on Send to Crewbriefing. Again, a message bar will appear confirming that the flight has been uploaded to Crewbriefing. That's it. We have successfully created a flight plan and filed it via Amexi, and the flight plan is also uploaded to crewbriefing.com and is awaiting the download from another satisfied customer. We have now given a short introduction in how a basic flight plan is made using the PPS8 flight planning system. With this tutorial, you are one step closer in preparing successful flight plans with the PPS8 flight planning system.